today's episode of Everybody Whispers. I'm Adam Elliott, your host. Today's episode is sponsored by the X Drone. Has your girlfriend recently broken up with you for someone more attractive and successful than you are? Don't you wish you could spy on them to see how happy they are together? Yeah, that'll make you feel real good. Wish you could do that? Well, now you can with the X Drone, the only drone designed specifically to spy on your ex-girlfriend Lisa Weinstein's new boyfriend. His name is Justin, and he's a personal trainer for Instagram influencers. So how does it work? Well, you just find out where this fucking guy lives and you fly the drone right outside his window. The drone will take photos and send back crucial data, important info like photos of Justin, Justin's height and weight, a detailed description of how safe your ex-girlfriend feels being held by Justin, Justin's yearly salary, what kind of probiotics Justin takes to maximize his health and improve his overall gut flora, Justin's allergies, especially to medications, so you know which ones to slip into his morning smoothie at his favorite juice spot, and so much more. Got a restraining order? Don't worry about it. I've got several, and I've read the fine print. As it turns out, the 500-foot rule does not apply to drones. The X Drone, our sponsor for today's episode. Anyway, I am delighted to be joined today by our guest, Rory Lutz. Rory is a New York City-based stand-up comedian and writer who hosts The Laughing Pad, a bi-weekly stand-up show which he produces directly out of his apartment. It's been lauded as one of the best underground comedy shows in New York City. Rory is also the producer and host of Last Stop Comedy in Inwood, and from my account, he is single-handedly bringing stand-up comedy to Upper Manhattan. Rory, welcome to Everybody Whispers.
Thanks for having me.
So, you're a comedian, and you're also, you work in construction. So, my first question to you is, what is it like being a real man?
Well, I walk around with an erection about half the time.
Yeah. Do you have to belt it?
No, I tuck it.
Yeah,
I pull it and I tuck it.
You gotta belt it.
I belt it, yes,
Yeah.
I belt it, yeah. It's really hard to tuck, because it's tiny.
It hurts to tuck it.
I just don't have enough to put it behind the ball sack.
Yeah, no, it's good. For our younger listeners, actually, we're gonna skip that. So let's talk about stand-up. When did you first start getting into stand-up comedy?
I started performing roughly 2 years ago. I went through a couple of bad breakups, and I wanted to prove both of those bitches wrong. So I chose to do something difficult, and it turns out I'm not terrible at it, and neither of them want me back, so it's not working.
Do you incorporate some of that into your stand-up as well?
So part of my divorce settlement means I can no longer joke about my ex-wife. I literally was in court and was told I couldn't do specific jokes.
Oh, wow.
Correct.
Okay, so we'll have to take note of that for today.
Oh, you're not going to ask me what those jokes are?
No, not at all.
Okay, great.
But since you've been divorced, you're now seeing a lovely gal,
I am. I have a girlfriend named Kayla.
and she too is a stand-up comedian.
Correct. She's recently started telling jokes because, as my son told me, if anyone can do it, if you can do it, anyone can.
And how has it been doing comedy together? Do you guys write jokes for each other?
I'm on record as saying neither of us writes jokes for either of us.
Okay, fair enough. It's gotta be fun doing stand-up with your girlfriend, though. I mean,
It's really nice to sit in the back of a room and laugh at other people with someone who gets it. Yeah. It's kind of hard being in a relationship as a comic because it's late nights and it's also making fun of everyone. Like on the way here, I seen an old lady fall on the subway, and I was the only one laughing. Granted, she was okay.
yeah.
But what is my grandmother doing taking the 7 train by herself?
You about you is that you are a vegan. How long have you been a vegan for?
I've been vegan close to 20 years. And being vegan for me means one thing, and one thing only. Like, I literally have no excuse to be this fat.
Right. Well, again, I think you look great, baby, so...
You're not going to sound very manly if you keep saying things like that. But thank you very much. I really do appreciate it.
You're probably right. I think I'm comfortable enough in my version of whatever masculinity I have to tell another man I like the way he looks.
There's nothing braver than a guy fucking another guy in the ass. I'm pretty sure that's the most manly thing you can do on Earth.
Okay.
I'm so glad we edited this.
Oh, we're not editing that.
Jesus
We're not editing that. I don't give a fuck. Okay. We're gonna play a game.
I love games.
Okay. It's called Hypothetically Speaking. I'm gonna pose a hypothetical situation to you, and you're gonna tell me what you would do in that situation, okay?
Great.
So, hypothetically speaking, let's say this girl followed you on Instagram, and you realized that you're going to see a show that she's in, that she's like performing in a few days. So you slide into her DMs and say, hey, I think I'm seeing a show you're in. And she's like, oh, dope. You should come say hi after the show. And you're like, say less. And she's like, bet, right? And like, this girl is super cute, so you're all excited, and you meet her after the show, and you're like, so what else you got going on? And she's like, I wrote a book. And you're like, I would love to read the book. And she's like, well, the link to order it is in my Instagram bio. And you order it, but you realize the book is about menstruation. And so by now you've agreed to read the book, and you say to yourself, I gotta read the book so I can maybe learn about menstruation, and also I can hit her up after I read it and ask her to get a cup of coffee so we can discuss it, because again, you think the girl is super cute, and reading the book is a great follow-up for a potential date, right? Now, let's say you read the book and you run into a friend of yours who knows the girl too, and you tell her about this entire situation and how you committed to reading the book about menstruation because you think it might actually help you get a date with this girl. And the friend says, oh wow, did you know she has a boyfriend? And you're like, nah, I didn't. Is it like serious? And she's like, super serious. Like, they've been together forever. They're practically married. So hypothetically speaking, would you ever read a book again?
I only read comic books, so that would be a problem to start. Would I read a book after being told to read a book about menstruation?
And then not even getting a date out of it, like, no date.
It could possibly be the last straw for me. I'm like one bad conversation away from just moving to another planet. I guess my first question would be, we're sure she's a woman?
Yeah, it's definitely a woman.
Because I've heard men can menstruate now.
Nah, man, we don't do that. I mean, not that I know of. I've heard of things like there's a time of the month or whatever, like for men too, but it's more of like, for me, it's just more about indigestion than anything.
I felt like I had my period on the way over here in the rain. I just was curious. So can you send me the link to that book?
I will send you the link.
I might be able to learn a thing or two.
I learned a lot. I mean, hypothetically speaking, I learned a lot about menstruation reading this book. But again, it's not a real situation, so it didn't really happen to me, and everything's fine.
Okay.
So let's talk more about comedy. You run a comedy show out of your apartment. Have you ever felt unsafe by allowing strangers into your apartment to be audience in the comedy show, or even some of the comedians who perform on the show?
So most of the people who come are friends of mine. Have I ever felt unsafe? No. But that's probably more to do with the fact that I'm like naive. And I don't even think like that. I'm more concerned with the show being funny. I don't really have a funny answer for that one, but the short answer is no, I don't really feel scared. If someone would maybe venture into my bedroom, they would just be bombarded with sex toys anyway, and it's booby trapped. I lock the door so no one can leave until the show's over as well. So it's probably more likely they should be scared of me than I should be afraid of them.
I'll be honest, I'm a little afraid of you right now.
What if I told you that I cry during movies? Would that make you feel safer?
Much safer.
Okay.
What movie do you, what's a movie that you would always cry in?
All of them. But most recently I was crying during Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
And not like the last ones, like I'm crying before Paul Walker died.
Well, because you know it's leading up to that.
No, mostly it's when Vin Diesel says family. I just kind of wish I had one.
Yeah, no, I can see why that would hit a nerve.
Chokes me up every time. The same way I cry when he says family. I cry as hard as I did when Bambi's mom died.
Well, that's a classic, man. I'm trying to think.
They're almost the same movie to me.
I always cry at The Green Mile.
That's a classic.
When Michael Clark Duncan's character, he's about to get electrocuted, and they put the hood over him, and he says, "Boss, I don't want to be in the dark." I mean, if you're not crying, then you're not a real person.
See, I thought you meant when Tom Hanks was gonna piss out the kidney stone. That gets me every time.
What's that?
When Tom Hanks has the kidney stone that he's peeing out of his dick. That makes me cry every time. There's a part in that movie with
yeah. That's
passing
right.
the kidney.
That's right. Yeah, because he has kidney stones.
Yeah.
You know, he has a urinary infection.
Probably the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
Can men get urinary tract infection?
Sure.
This is probably gonna be an avenue I take on a lot of things.
You know what other movie I cry in? It's a newer movie. Judy. It's about Judy Garland.
Oh.
There's a scene at the end of Judy where she sings Somewhere Over the Rainbow in one of her final concerts, but she can't get through the song, and the audience stands up and starts helping her finish the song. Oh my God.
I have a similar memory about Over the Rainbow too. My ex-wife, used to sing that to Axel when he was in her belly. So now every time I hear it, I just want to hang myself.
Yeah, no, you can't watch this movie.
No.
Don't watch Judy. But watch Judy. Renee Zellweger is amazing. She gives an Oscar award-winning performance. She won an Oscar for that movie.
I should win an Oscar for my performance in my marriage.
I want to talk more about the Laughing Bag because, we're neighbors, Upper Manhattan neighbors. Do you think that bringing comedy to Upper Manhattan, how does that feel? Kind of just sort of, bringing an aspect of culture to an area that doesn't have a lot of that specific type of culture. I mean, how does it feel to be someone that's kind of spearheading that right now?
It's really cool because the other day someone recognized me in the supermarket as that comedian. And then I had to explain to them that no, I'm not Michael Rappaport.
I can see why you're both redheads.
Yeah. To answer the question, I originally started Laughing Pad to bring comedy to the neighborhood because there are a lot of adults, parents, that don't have things to do. It turns out those people don't want to do anything because now I've created this and they still don't come. So I just enjoy bringing people together, watching people laugh, and being responsible for that. It's also nice that no one's ever stolen anything out of my apartment.
That's a good thing. I had something stolen from my apartment once. So it was a pick of destiny that was thrown to me by Jack Black during a Tenacious D concert during their Pick of Destiny tour. I swear to fucking God, I had this thing framed. They signed the back of it. I was in the front row. I don't know if I should be admitting that I was at the front row of a Tenacious D concert, but I don't think there's anything to be ashamed about that.
Jack Black is one of the most talented musicians in the world.
100%. I had a party in my apartment during college, and someone stole that shit right off my wall, man. Anyway, alright, we're gonna play another game. It's another game of hypothetically speaking, okay?
I love games.
Hypothetically saying that. Okay. This is getting harder.
That's what she said.
Okay. Hypothetically speaking, let's say your uncle dies suddenly and the funeral is in North Carolina and the only flights available on short notice are through Spirit Airlines. So you decide you're not going to the funeral because you would rather risk becoming estranged from your extended family instead of going on a Spirit Airlines flight. But you can't tell your family the reason you're not going to the funeral is because of Spirit Airlines, so you come up with an excuse that you're going through a really bad IBS flare-up after you went to Halal Guys and ordered the red sauce on your chicken and rice plate instead of the white sauce. But you always order the white sauce, and the guys there started making fun of you for always doing that. Like they started saying, white boy only wants white sauce and can't handle the red sauce. So you say, no, I want the red sauce this time. So you say you got the red sauce this time, even though you knew it would be bad for your stomach. And sure enough, it caused you an IBS flare-up, and your family totally understands and says, it's okay, you'll be there in spirit. Which is funny to you, because the main reason you're not going to the funeral is because of Spirit Airlines, right? So you say, no pun intended, and they're like, what? And then you remember, they can't know about the pun, because that would give this whole thing away, so you keep that pun to yourself as an inside joke that only you will ever know. And you say, never mind, and I hope the funeral goes well. And you think that's the end of it, right? But the problem is that morning of the funeral, people see you on TV in the background of the Today Show holding up a sign because Carrie Russell is being interviewed, and the sign says #Felicity Forever because Felicity was your favorite show as an adolescent.
What show was that?
Felicity.
I'm not familiar with Felicity.
Felicity.
Is that how you say it?
Felicity, yeah.
Say it one more time.
Felicity.
Say it like a man.
No, man.
Say it like a man now.
There's no way to say Felicity like a man. Look, it was a show in the 90s. Early aughts. It was a brilliant show. It was about a girl living her life in New York City. She was going to NYU. And it was overshadowed by the success of Buffy and Dawson's Creek. Anyway. So look, they see you on TV and they call you and they say, we see you on TV with low-key stalker vibes for Carrie Russell. And you say, I'm not a stalker, I'm just a fan. Please stop insinuating that my relationship with Carrie is anything other than that. And they say, we thought you had an IBS flare-up. And you finally tell them the truth and say, I'm sorry, I just couldn't fly Spirit Airlines, and that's why I'm not at the funeral. And now no one from your extended family will talk to you, even after you sent them an apology email that was written by an AI program, but it had a lot of grammatical errors in it that you forgot to correct before sending. One of which says, I'm sorry for you losers, instead of I'm sorry for your loss. And they ask you about that, and you tell them that the AI program wrote it, which only makes things worse, you know what I mean? Because now they know that not only did you not have an IBS flare-up, but that you never actually wrote the apology letter yourself about missing your uncle's funeral because you wouldn't fly Spirit Airlines because an AI program wrote the letter. So hypothetically speaking, would you ever fly Spirit Airlines?
All I would have to do is tell my family that I spoke to a non-white person and I wouldn't be invited anyway. That was at the halal card.
That you were invited by one?
All I would have to tell my family is that I bought food at the halal card from a non-white person, and they wouldn't let me go to the funeral anyway.
I see.
That is a racist family joke.
But you are not racist. Your family is racist.
I think so.
Okay. I think
knife.
I'm so uncomfortable right now.
That's my job.
Rory,
Yo,
where can people find you on social media, the internet, anywhere else?
my name, Rory Lutz. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, OnlyFans shortly. If you search hard enough on Pornhub, you could probably find me. One video.
And the laughing pad.
The laughing pad on Instagram, YouTube, the Last Stop Comedy on Instagram. We're building, but if you typed my name in to Google, once you get past the rap sheet, it's a bunch of comedy stuff.
Okay. And I want to thank Rory for being with us today and whispering with us. This has been another episode of Everybody Whispers. I'm Adam Elliott. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Everybody whisper.